right, Shalom. I'd start off by saying Barakateh Hawa Bashim Hao Shai Bahashem Rakakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. Just bear with me because I didn't mean to hit the button, but I guess it's that time. So just bear with me. Supposed to have set everything up first before I actually went live, but I guess the spirit wants me to go live right away, so we're gonna do it. All right, so like I said, bear with me in a few seconds. Hey, the spirit waits for nobody, so we just gotta roll. So this one's called Crimes, Sentencing, and Judgment. And pretty much, like I said, bear with me. I'm just still putting everything together. Let me get this over, get this right. A little more. All right, there you go. Let me bring this over. And there we go. So like I said, you know, the name of this is called Crimes, Sentencing, and Judgment. And pretty much I was reading through that book again and reading about the Apostle Paul. And, you know, one of the references it gave me was in the book of Acts, the 17th chapter. So we're going to build off of that particular scripture. Few scriptures came to mind, and then I was reading through the Red Bible on some of the precepts and getting other precepts. So I got just a little bit of precepts, and Lord's will, this will be an edifying lesson. But pretty much what I want to start off with is the word judgment. A matter of fact, you know what? Since we're on it, let me type in crime. All right, let me bring this over here. Let me bring this one over and let me hold on to that. All right, crime. Sinfulness, infraction of the laws of the Most High. And when Esau took on the Bible, as he claimed to be, you know, as he claimed to be the authority in the scriptures, therefore he took on the punishments that come with breaking the law, statutes, and commandments. Now remember, the scriptures speak about that these curses that are upon us are going to go on our enemies. And those are facts. So the word crime is sinfulness, infraction of the law of the Most High. Let's see. Mortal sin, charge, indictment, accusation, crime, fault, offense, which probably is from cernere, to decide, to sift, to sieve, thus discriminate, distinguish. Then when you go down to the third paragraph, it says the meaning of offense punishable by law, act, or omission, which the law punishes in the name of the state, is from late 14th century. The sense of any great wickedness or wrongdoing is from 1510. Latin word is glossed in Old English by facen, which also meant deceit, fraud, treachery, right? Because that's pretty much what, you know, Esau has done. It's all been through deceit, fraud, and treachery. And what do the scriptures say about that? Let's read this real quick before we go to the next word. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled. What does the word to spoil mean? The word spoil means to steal, to rob somebody. And you have robbed the whole entire planet Earth. Misa white man, you Edomites, the ones of you that go back to the line of Esau, you have robbed the whole planet Earth. So guess what? You're going to be robbed. The scriptures also speak about rob them that rob thee. And dealest treacherously. So when the kingdom is established, we're going to get everything back. And dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. And you have been the main culprit of treachery and dealing treacherously with people, also spoiling people, robbing people, corrupting people. The word there for treachery is bagad, which means to act treacherously, deceitfully, deal treacherously, and you have dealt deceitfully. The act or deal treacherously, faithlessly, deceitfully, offend. And one more before we go on is in the book of Revelation, chapter 20, and verse 7. We'll go straight to the point. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Satan means adversary. This is dealing with Esau, the so-called white man that was released from his prison sentence, his 1,000-year prison sentence in so-called Europe. All right. It says that shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, and that's what you did. You deceived the four nations in the four quarters of the earth. All right. That's what you've done. So dealing treacherously means dealing deceitfully. Right now, let's continue on. Down here it says transgress. What is transgress? To break laws. Unfaithful. And you are very unfaithful, very deceitful. Then here it says what? To cover with the garment, to act covertly. Do you not have a secret organization that's hell bent on destroying the world to your benefit and to the detriment of the rest of the world? Psalms 64:1. Hear my voice, O Most High, and my prayer preserve my life from fear of the enemy, because this is one of the greatest motivators is fear. Famine, fear, chaos, deceit. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, because they have dealt treacherously. They are acting covertly. They are doing this under wraps. Then here it says to pillage. And these devils have been the main culprits of pillaging. Let's look at this word pillage. Rob a place using violence, especially in wartime. And they did that when they came here to the so-called Americas. They robbed this place. They used violence. When that devil Christopher Columbus came here, he saw the natives, which were the so-called Latin tribes of the Northern Kingdom, and he said that they were beautiful, they were well built, and they were very nice. He said, and his first thought was, with 50 men, I could come and subdue all of these people. So his mindset wasn't to, help, or wasn't to, be accepted or honored, or whatever the case may be. His whole idea was, conquer. And he even put in his memoirs that if he should be remembered for anything, he should be remembered for not putting down his sword for not for 1 hour, which shows you how much blood these devils shed when they were here. So these are all punishments. These are all crimes that you've committed that are now on your tab that you have to pay. So it goes on to say, it says, so let's read it again. Woe to thee that spoilest, if thou was not spoiled, meaning you robbed, and dealest treacherously or deceitfully, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, meaning when you stop, thou shalt be spoiled. And how much do you have to spoil? Well, the whole world. According to its substance shall the restitution be. That's going to be the true reparations. When we get everything that you stole from us, and on top of that, put your ass in slavery. That's going to be the utmost, the best reparation ever. Not no goddamn dollar bills. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So this is what you have to look forward to. To be dealt with treacherously. So we already dealt with the word crime. It means an infraction of God's laws. Right? Then we have the word sentencing. One of the final stages of a criminal trial is sentencing. If you have reached the sentencing stage, that means that you have pleaded guilty or were found guilty by a jury or a judge. And who is the highest judge? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. If you are guilty of a crime, you will face punishment for your actions, and that is usually sentencing by a judge. If you are guilty of a crime, because you are guilty of a crime, you have been weighed in the balance. Now, this scripture here is dealing with the ancient Babylonian Empire, but this applies to you today. Daniel chapter 5 and verse 25. And this is the writing that was written, many, many tekadu farson. This is the interpretation of the thing. Many, the Most High have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. So right now, you're at a finish of your empire. And all the talks out there, whether it's military, whether it's financial, whether it's geopolitical, are all coming to the same conclusion, that it's the end of the American empire. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balance and are found wanting. So you have been weighed, but you have been found wanting, because you have committed grievous and heinous crimes on the planet Earth that you have not paid for yet, but you will pay for, because everything is being stacked. And everything is being brought out during the sentencing stage that we're in right now. So it says, if you are guilty of a crime, you will face punishment for your actions. And that is usually sentencing by a judge, which is what? Judgment. And that's the final word, judgment. It says action of trying at law, trial. Also capacity of making decisions. And what is the decision that is made? Let's go to the book of Exodus. This is just one of many. Exodus, what is that? Is it 21? 16? And he that stealeth a man, and oh boy, are you not guilty of this? This is why they're trying to say that slavery never existed. There were never no ships. You can't find any ships. You can't find, traces of slavery and all that. I mean, the madness is just overwhelming. Yet still in all, you have in the books, within the legislation of the so-called United States, something called the Emancipation Proclamation. So what was the Emancipation Proclamation all about? Huh? Was that not to so-called free the slaves? Free the slaves from what? From a long vacation? Let me see something. Emancipation Proclamation. First, let's look at the images of it. This is an actual document that was, put together, right? And on top of it, it was signed by President Lincoln and brought into law. Hey, when I do them little ass. And put into law. Let me see if this one comes up. I don't know if that's the same thing. You know what? Let's just bring this up. This devil here. So this is actually in law. Proclamation, Emancipation, 1861, 1863. By the President of the United States of America. And it doesn't give you the rest of it. But you know what that's all about. All right, let's see if we can find another one. And by the looks of it, this one here looks handwritten. Let's see something. You can't really see that. I don't think that's going to come up. But you get the idea. If you search hard enough, you're going to find the Emancipation Proclamation somewhere. And it's actually in the books. Emancipation Proclamation. President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. As the nation approached its third year of bloody civil war, the proclamation declared that all persons held as slaves within the rebellious states are and henceforward shall be free. So if that's the case, what does that mean? That means that there were actual slaves here, but a lot of people are trying to make that history disappear because this is a blot to your nation. That's why the Lord said He will spew. Let me see how does that one go? Shameful spewing on thy glory, which I believe that's in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Right, Habakkuk 2:16. Thou art filled with shame for glory, right? Because the glory is what? The way you got the world, right? Well, your world, you're on top of the world, but it was a shameful way you got it. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord. In other words, you're gonna be, you're gonna be found to be a demon. You're gonna be, it's gonna be made known that you ain't right. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, which is what? This truth, through his prophets. And shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And this is why, you committed the crime, and now you're going through the final stages of the sentencing stage, and then you're about to go into judgment. And what is the judgment? Capacity for making decisions. What is the judgment of the decision? Exodus 21:16, out of many. Matter of fact, I got one more that came to mind. Let me just get this one so I don't forget it. So let me go back. It says, Exodus 21:16, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him. So you stole the children of Israel, you sold them. And it wasn't just the southern kingdom that you stole and sold. You also did that to the northern kingdom that was here. Because you were shipping, slaves back and forth between Spain and Portugal. And you were also putting the northern kingdom here in captivity, making them dig out mines until they drop dead. Non-stop. You would put them in the mountains and have them dig that thing hollow until they drop dead. So you got a lot to pay for. So it says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, which we are today. Remember, the slaves were emancipated. Emancipation does not mean to set someone free. Emancipation means to turn over from one hand to another, or from one proprietor to another. All right, and that's what you have done. You've exchanged, the slaves from the south from the hands of the slaveholders in the south to the slaveholders in the north. And this is why you have your 14th Amendment slaves. All right, you have adhesion contract slaves, which are pretty much bound to be servants by paperwork, such as your birth certificate, such as your social security card, your license, and all of these different adhesion contracts that tie you into the system. So we're still found in your hand. So what did the Lord say? He shall surely be put to death. So that is your sentence, or your judgment is death. But before you go into death, right, you're going to go into captivity, which means slavery. Jeremiah 30:16, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and you devoured us. You have devoured us. You show no mercy. And the scripture said that you shall have judgment without mercy that have shown no mercy. You didn't have a lick or an ounce of mercy upon us. You beat the shit out of us. And you think now that you're going to go unpunished? You're not going to go unpunished. We're going to get that next, Lord's will. And all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity or go into slavery. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So everything that you've done to us, you're going to give back, but you're going to give back double. And that is only fair. It's the only way, only solution I can think of You know, that's going to set everything back in its proper balance. Other than that, there's nothing else that can compare to that. Because at the end of the day, you've committed heinous crimes that cannot be paid for. They can't be paid for. And although we understand reincarnation, that you are your forefathers coming back, the flesh that was here 100 years ago, 200 years ago, whatever, are gone. But you're back in that lot. This is why it says, matter of fact, before I read this, let's go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. And it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Why? Because they are their forefathers coming back in the reincarnation, about to receive judgment. Shalom. Shabbat. I got the elder Damashi Pot. What's going on, my brother? You need to get in here? Okay, so I'm probably getting ready to close out because they're coming to fix the heat finally, I think. You know, so I'm just gonna go till I hear the knock on the door, and then I'm gonna drop. You need to go into the door? Okay. So it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. Bottom line. All right. So going back to Jeremiah 49:12, for thus saith the Lord power, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and that was us. Because we are a royal people. We were supposed to be in royalty. We were supposed to be set up and established in rulership and be an example to the nations, but we fucked up when we followed them nations. And art thou he, meaning you Edomites, that shall go altogether unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Right. So basically, you're going to drink just like we were forced to drink. Oh, and you forced that down our throats, man. We had no choice. We had no defense against it. But that's okay. Because now it's your turn. You're up next, devil. All right, now let's go to Job 19:29. Be ye afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishment of the sword, that you may know that there is a judgment, and there is a judgment coming very, very soon. The word judgment is the word dayan, where you get the word dan or dan, which means judgment, cause, plea. Now you have another word for judgment or judge, which is shapat. All right, the word for judgment is shapat. Cause, plea. And you're not going to plead guilty. You're going to try to weasel out of it. It wasn't me, it was my forefathers. They did that. I shouldn't be held accountable for that. Well, you are being held accountable for that because you are the same ones. Condemnation, judgment, dispute. Yeah, because there's a dispute of how you got this land, how you got this place, how you put the children of Israel in captivity. Legal suit, right? And we're bringing also a legal suit against you, because not only are we pronouncing sentence on you, we're also filing a lawsuit against you in the spirit. And the lawsuit, when you file a lawsuit against somebody, you get recompense for damages, and the damages that you've caused is going to cost a whole lot to be paid. Partly the riches that you stole, and also your hide, strife, government. All right. So pretty much there is a judgment, and that judgment is coming very soon. Now let me see what I have here. Let's go to Acts. I'll try to get a couple of these before the door, before they come to the door. Acts 17 and 26. It's going to hit two precepts here. And have made of one blood all nations of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. So what are the times before determined? This is the allotted time that you were given to rule on the planet Earth. All right. This is the allotted time you were given to rule on the planet Earth. Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So you cannot pass from the time frame and the boundary that you were bound to. Job 21:21. For what pleasure hath he in his house after him, when the number of his months is cut off in the midst. So you're going to lose in a big way. You're going to lose in a big way. Acts 17 and 26 at the end of it, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. Jumping down to the 31st verse, because he, meaning the Most High, hath appointed a day in the which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man whom he hath ordained, which is who? Yahushua. Yahweh set up Yahushua to judge this world, and Yahushua is coming back to judge this world. Whereof he hath given assurance unto all men, in that he hath raised him from the dead, meaning to the Israelites. You know, that he had raised Yahushua from the dead, and the whole world is going to know this. You know, right now they're calling him Jesus, they're looking at him as a so-called white man, but the whole world is going to know who Yahushua really is. He's a so-called Negro of the tribe of Judah, and he's coming back to kick you devils in the ass. He's going to put his foot up your ass sideways. This is Romans chapter 2, verse 15. It says, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, that's dealing with the Israelite foreigners, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another. So either they're taking accountability or they're finding an excuse not to acknowledge their iniquities and their sins. It says, in the day when the Most High shall judge the secrets of men by Yahushua HaMashiach, according to my gospel, because this gospel is going to be the accuser. It's going to be the witness. Nobody's going to be able to wiggle out of it. Let's go from there to the book of St. John, chapter 5. Just trying to get through some of these before, these people come here. It says, St. John 5:22, for the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son. And that's why Yahushua is coming back to kick enough ass. Let's go from there to Revelation chapter 20. And verse 11, it says, and I saw a great white throne. This is what they call the white throne judgment. And him that sat on it, which is Yahweh, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. So what does this mean? From whose face the earth and the heavens fled away, and there was found no place for them, meaning the rulership of these nations, beginning with Esau. They're going to flee away. All right. I had another precept here, but I kind of, let me see if I could still fit it in there. This is dealing with Yahushua. It says, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead. Okay, that's another one. So the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no more place for them, meaning Esau's kingdom and these nations' kingdom. So let's go real quick to 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 5 to 7. Let's see if we can get through that. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High, everything is predicated upon Yahweh Bashem Al-Shah's words. The heavens, which are the ancient empires, were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, right? Because they were, at one time, they were thriving, but then the Lord brought destruction upon them. Why? Because they became so corrupt that the Lord said, oh, hell no, I'm gonna have to hit a reset. So the Most High Yahweh back then hit a reset on the whole goddamn planet by destroying the whole planet by water. This great flood. This time he's going to do it by fire, but it's not going to be the whole planet. It's going to be the whole of America, the whole of the land of Israel, and whatever other places any of those missiles hit. All right? It says, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. Right? They perished. Why? Because the Lord brought judgment upon them because they became wicked. But the same way they became wicked is the same way that this place is becoming wicked, but even a billion, a trillion times more. But they continue on. They don't take heed to what was going on back then. This is why the Lord said that they didn't consider their latter end. It says, but the heavens and the earth, which are now, which is Esau's heavens, his empire, the nations that are ruling, which are now, by the same word, are kept in store. See, they're kept in store because they are being reserved unto fire because you have a reservation with fire, Mr. White Man, you Edomites, against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. And when America was established, they were established to be destroyed. They were established to corrupt the world, to bring it into the state that it's in today, and to be judged. Because this place is going to be left as a burnt mountain. It tells us in the book of either Jeremiah 50 or 51. It's going to be left as a burnt mountain. And it's going to be left as a monument to the world, what it is to be wicked, what it is to compel the rest of the world to be wicked. You know, to invoke, you know, your wickedness upon other nations. So it's going to be left this way as a burnt mountain where it would never be inhabited ever again except for by desert creatures, as a token to the world of what it is to be wicked. It's going to be a stamp forever. You know, it's going to be a monument forever. People are going to know about this place and the wickedness that went on here. Just like we read about Sodom and Gomorrah and the other cities. We read about how the world was destroyed back then by the flood. How we read about different empires coming up and being destroyed and certain judgments that were brought upon these different empires. It's the same thing that's going to happen now. We're going to see it now. The same way it's going to happen now. And when the kingdom of heaven is established, this is going to be left as a memorial. Because these things that are going on here on this side of the world, in America, so on and so forth, is going to be written about in the scriptures. You know, like the elder pastor used to say years ago, it's going to be like a second book of Acts. You know? And that's going to be, all of this stuff is going to be written about. You're going to be able to read brothers' names. You know, we're going to be able to read about different brothers' acts and how they got arrested or how they got put to death for the word or whatever the case may be. Whatever you read in the scriptures now that was happening back then, that happened now in these times, is going to be written about in the kingdom of heaven. So all of the wickedness that this place pushed is going to be written just like you could read about Sodom and Gomorrah and many other kingdoms that were wicked. All right, so this place is reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Now, let's go from there to Daniel 2. This is the book of Daniel chapter 2, verse 35, straight to the point. And this was the ending of Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floor, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. So this is dealing with the four empires, you know, which are the empires of the world. So that's what we're reading about in the book of Revelation chapter 20, where it says, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. That's what this talking about, the empires of the world being brought down, beginning with Esau. Because the very first nation that Yahushua is coming to visit are the Edomites. And the stone, which is Yahushua that smote the image, became a great mountain, a great empire, a great government, and filled the whole earth. And ain't no Edomites gonna, after 1,000 years, they're gonna get the upper hand and put us back into captivity. That's just total madness. All right. So when Yahushua is set up, he's gonna establish a great mountain, a great kingdom, great empire. Salaki, elders check and make sure that. No? Okay, so let me see. So let's go to Hebrews. And like I said, as soon as they get here, even if I know that they're coming up, then I just end this. And maybe Lord's will, I could come back later and finish some of these precepts. If not, maybe hopefully we'll get to most of them. Hebrews 1 and 10. And thou, Lord, in the beginning hast laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of thine hands. They shall perish. Why? Because the empires of this world, the heathen empires, will perish. But thou remainest, and they shall all wax old as doth a garment. And what's going to cause it to wax old as doth a garment? Those nuclear missiles. And as a vesture shalt thou fold them up. So when you have a vesture that you no longer use, what do? You fold it up, you either put it away, you throw it away. In this case, it's going to be thrown away. And they shall be changed. Why? Because a new ruler is going to be established on the earth. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But thou art the same, and thy years shall not fail. Now let's go from there to Daniel chapter 7. Excuse me. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. It says, the Ancient of Days reigns. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. What thrones? The thrones of the nations. They were cast down. And what happens? Their place was found no more at all again on the planet. Well, never again will any nation rule on the planet Earth. I mean, the nations outside of Esau, they will have their government among themselves, but they're still going to have to operate under our laws, and they're going to be tributary to us forever. And the Ancient of Days did sit, which is the Most High, whose garment was white as snow. He had a garment on, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, because he had kinky hair, a woolly afro. Okay, so you could understand. It's not because it was white. It didn't say nothing about white hair. It said that this is talking about the texture of the Most High's hair. His throne was like the fiery flame. That's a big chariot, and his wheels as burning fire. Same thing, the chariots and the lights. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him, because he's bringing judgment. Thousands ministered unto him, which are the angels, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, which are the people on the earth. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. So how were the books opened? By the punishment that came down, which was the judgment that was written. And this is what we're reading about in the book of Revelation chapter 20. It says, I beheld then, because the voice of the great words which the horn spake. Now this horn, which is a part of the fourth beast, is America. I beheld even till the beast was slain. The beast is EU and NATO, and his body destroyed, because the Lord is going to destroy these empires also, and given to the burning flame. And as concerning the rest of the beasts, which are the other kingdoms of the other nations, they had their dominion taken away. Why? Because they're going to go into captivity, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. But Esau is going to be totally annihilated. Now let's go from there. I'm going to skip this one because it's kind of long. Let's go back to Revelation 20 and 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High. Yeah, because the Lord is coming to judge. And the books were open, which is the Bible. And another book was open, which is the book of life. This is dealing with the elect. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books. See, from Genesis to Revelation, according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead, because you have a lot of dead people that have died in the seas, which were in it. And death and hell were delivered up. And death and hell delivered up the dead, meaning the grave, which were in them. And they would judge every man according to their works. Yeah, because the righteous are going to go up into chariots. They're going to come up out of the graves and go up into the chariots. All right. Then it says, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, because the first death was the flood, which we read about. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire, because that's the destruction that's coming. Now let's go from there to Malachi. Salaki, I got to kind of, breeze through this. But, like I said, we don't know what time these individuals are going to be here. Malachi 4:1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. And what is that? What is going to cause that burning of an oven? The nuclear missiles. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. Till next time I say shalom.